Welcome back to this YouTube channel. Today I'm going to do a campground unboxing of this TCL 55-inch 4K TV. Black level's pretty normal, nothing real special with that. But for $248, it's a heck of a deal for 55. I'm going to put it in my pop-up camper. So I think there's probably other reviews of this on the market, but I thought, this is a good opportunity for me to go ahead and unbox it right here at the campsite. There we go. Right there. Woo. Wow, not a fingerprint on it, looking pretty nice. I'm going to get it into the pop-up camper and see what I think. Okay, here's the brand new Roku remote, and you can see it fits pretty well in the camper. And first impression is it's a 4K TV. I don't know if that comes across in the video, but it's definitely a 4K TV. It seems maybe just a little bit dim, but I think I could turn up the brightness if I wanted to. So it wants a new wireless connection. We're camping, so yeah. So there it is. We'll be just going to HDMI. I'll be playing a little bit of PlayStation VR. Satisfaction guaranteed. You can see the pixels. So that right there gives you an idea what I'm seeing in person right there. All right, we're packing up the camper. That is the TV face down on one of the beds. And we'll be able to ride with it like that. Well, camping trip is over, and I thought I would spend a little bit more time with the 55S 451 from TCL. And my main concern was to come out here and see if there was any kind of action smoothing. And from everything I've looked at and everything I've read on the internet, it sounds like it does not have any kind of action smoothing. You'll hear it called SOE, or the soap opera effect. Basically, it's a little bit like frame doubling with a intermediate frame that's interpolated, or somehow it synthesizes an extra frame. And you'll see that now on the new GPUs, like a 4090, the 4000 series from NVIDIA will have the DLSS 3.0, and for years now we've had OpenXR tools for VR, and they've had frame doubling there with the synthetic frames. So the TVs have had that for a while as well. But unfortunately, this one doesn't seem to have it. I think there's that advertisement that makes you think it is on the box, and I referred to that earlier in the video. But what that is if you have 24 frames per second for, say, a Blu-ray or something, it will switch to 48 hertz mode. So that way it's timing the frequency of your display to multiples of your input. So if you have 24, it'll pick 48. If you have 30, it'll pick 60. Maybe it would even pick 30, but this one picks 60, even though this game a lot of times will be 30 frames per second. So right now, as you can see, this is in 30 FPS mode. The only reason I picked this game, it is a game that I do like, but it does have two modes. This is the 30 FPS mode, as you can see. And then it also has, let's see here. So it's 1080p now, but you can see it's a lot smoother. It will be between 40 and 60 frames per second. So this is what some TVs will do to a 30 FPS input, is they'll actually give you some synthetic frames. Now these are all rendered frames. And I think the big bottleneck with the PlayStation 4 here was the CPU. So a lot of times, especially in the corners, you'll get 60 FPS, a lot smoother. And then if you get in these bigger areas, you might cut down to 35 to 45, just depending. But so that's the one downside of this TV. If I was going to recommend a TV for a camper, I would say this is an excellent TV. But if you want to go up a little bit further, if you have a little bit nicer of a camper, then maybe you would want to get one with the action smoothing, because you can take older video game systems, maybe something you haven't been playing for a couple of years because you have something new, and you can finish up some old games without buying them on your new system. You can just put them on here and then frame double and get a higher frame rate, and they look with the 4K resolution, but you still get the look of the 60 FPS, which is much smoother. The only problem is, these are things you might be leaving behind. If you go to the park, or if you go on a trail, if you leave to go swimming, you're leaving these things behind. So you partially, a lot of times, want to have something that if it were to break or it grew legs and walked away, it wouldn't break your heart. So if this gets too nice, you start wanting to put it in the house and not leave it out in the camper. So that's why I picked this TV. It was $248. It was on the free side of money, you know, as opposed to expensive. It's way more close to free, and you can just put it somewhere, and someone's gonna walk in here and maybe they'd want to steal it or something, and then they would say, you know, that's a 4 Series from TCL. I don't know, you know, maybe we'll just leave it for them. So I'm not saying it's no good, but it is lacking a few features that the more expensive TVs will provide. But honestly, this was $600 in 2021. Now at $248. It may be the tail end of the production run, but it's just the used price for a brand new TV. So that's really what I have to say about it. The colors, they're pretty good. They're not bad. I mean, I have a Sony from 10 years ago, and I would say this probably looks almost better. The bezel's tiny. It is edge lit. You can see a little bit of a brighter edge here, but you know, you don't have the, like I was saying, an array of LEDs that are shining through, because sometimes you can see that. And in fact, there's been reviews of some really big 75-inch TVs, and one of the main complaints is you could see like railroad tracks or what have you, hashtags going through it, and it's in every scene. You can't get rid of it. So this is edge lit, and then it kind of bounces off the white interior. I've taken these apart before to replace LEDs, and I've seen what's behind there on Insignia. There was rows of LEDs, and so this one being edge lit, it is what it is. The thing is a lot of people say, well, your blacks aren't perfect, you don't have this awesome contrast that I have, and that's great for the house, you know, but when it comes to that type of thing, I like to have projectors. I like a huge projection, 4K, and then if I'm going to go down to 1080p, I like 240 hertz. So that's what I have in the house, because they'll say this is edge lit, and that's no good. But the thing is all of their blacks are edge lit, and it comes across in the form of blooming. So you'll have this little black area here, and all the LEDs are lit up around it, but not right here. But your black area is edge lit, in effect. So what happens is people defend whatever costs the most. If edge lit was more expensive, there would be kind of a team behind that saying you want edge lit. So best value is all I'm saying. I think everything's going to evolve, and I've seen the deep blacks at Best Buy and other stores, and they're way more impressive, but they're so vivid, it's almost psychedelic. Like if you look at real life next to it and you look around the store and then you look at the TV, it's almost an exaggeration of what you would see with your eyes in real life. So they do pick certain circumstances, like, you know, a cup of wine or something in front of a black background, like a complete, just utterly, just like a black hole. Like basically the TV ends up being like a black hole. Light can't escape it. So edge lit is edge lit. I think I would like to have one of those ones with the array behind it, but I would like a very fine array, like 10,000 LEDs, or something like that. Projectors are a really nice way to get really deep blacks with a gray screen or a black screen, even with some type of high gain material. There's some companies working on that, or you can even just paint it yourself. They have videos. I actually have a video. I can leave a link in the description about how I painted my projector wall, and I get like, it's like, I haven't measured it, but it's upwards of like 10 to 12 feet diagonal, and then it's 4K, and then if I want, it's 240 hertz. So those are really nice to have. So this is nice enough that I don't want to bring it in the house, and it's cheap enough that if it breaks, it doesn't break my heart. So I can lay it down here on these cushions and go camping, and then come back and not worry about it. So the only thing I would say about this is recommend this $248, but if you have another $50, I'm not exactly sure what it's going to take to get to that motion smoothing, so to speak, or the soap opera effect, or the action smoothing. If you could get to that, I think that would liven up some of these older systems. If you have an Xbox One, Xbox One X, PlayStation 4, even the PS5, I think it would be nice to have. In fact, I might go ahead and see what else is out there besides this TV. But for the money, for the very lowest end on cash, this is an excellent picture, and I definitely recommend it. I'll leave a link in the description to it if you're interested in it. $248 right now. I can't guarantee that will be in the future. Could go up, it could go even lower, or you could even find one used. So that's going to wrap up my review of a excellent TV, a 55 for an older pop-up camper. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like, you can always shop at my eBay store, GB Hatchery. I sell all kinds of used items on eBay, and I'll leave a link to that in the description as well. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video. This is a camping review. I'm in the rain, as you can probably hear, so I'm not going to be able to test the Roku features. You do get this Roku remote, and it has Netflix, Apple TV, Paramount Plus, and HBO Cinemax buttons right on the remote. So if you've ever had a Roku TV, it's just like any other Roku, which used to be like a streaming box you could get for TVs. Now they've incorporated in the TVs. They usually have either Google or Roku, or you'll have Amazon's UI, but they all do the same thing. You know, you can get Netflix or any of the other streaming services on there pretty much. Maybe not websites as much. But as you can see, we have remotes, we have a theme, TCL, accessibility, captions, TV picture settings, there's HDR. You can see that it's already recognizing the PlayStation 4. It shows you the TV inputs, audio, parental controls. You can go ahead and put a 4-digit pin in. And here's the about. Roku TV G136X, it says right there. You can set the time, just all the normal things, but if you're looking at this TV, it gives you an idea of what you're going to see, and it's nice to know if you're looking. Really small bezel. I mean, that's really just like almost nothing. So I have the light on, and that's not really doing it very much justice. If I turn the light off, it makes it look better. It looks more warm. It's hard to get it exactly right on this video, but I think Horizon Zero Dawn, which is the game I was playing on PlayStation 4, did a better job of showing you basically how things look. So that gives you a better idea of what it really actually looks like. Somehow my camera picks up the colors better on a full scene with all the colors there. So you can see the greens are good. There's really not a lot of blue in this picture, but Now this is probably 1440p because it's the PlayStation 4. But this was just a cool scene. I stopped and I thought, you know, I would just go ahead and show this in the video. But if you notice, there's no light bands. If you've ever seen some of the cheaper, well, less expensive LED TVs. Oh, and by the way, it is raining. But sometimes you'll see the backlight in the back will show like a hashtag. And I don't see that in this. It seems pretty well lit, but there's no local dimming. So if you're looking for a local dimming TV, this is not it. Also, it's 60 hertz. So when they say smooth motion 120 or whatever that gimmicky type of nomenclature was, there's no 120 hertz here. It's a 60 hertz panel, and if you look for specifications, you'll see that it is 60 hertz, not 120. But for an LED TV, that which it is, and for the price of $248, and for the size at 55 inches, this TV is coming out of a brand new box, and it's a steal, pretty much. And it's really not real bad. You get a few options. You have picture settings. You have TV brightness. We have the HDR mode, picture size, dynamic contrast. It says not available. Color temperature. You know, you can change the temperature a little bit. Game mode is on. It says reduces input lag. So that's so that you have quicker response when you make an action on the controller. As you can see, the HDR is on, and it's 4K 60, which is what this TV is. So that's it, and it just repeats. So it's pretty simple. You have sleep timer. Pretty simple here too. So it's just pretty much run-of-the-mill and a great value. Not necessarily politically speaking, but just the old-fashioned good, great, I don't know, better, best, excellent. I just go for excellent. I'm happy with it so far. It's working out. Look at that picture. You're looking at it in 1080p, so it's not gonna show the 4K awe. And you know, I have some other electronics to compare it to. I do have like a UHD 38 from Optoma. It's 240 hertz 4K projector. So, you know, I've been spoiled a little bit by that, but for just $248 out the door, this thing's just pretty much what you want if you're going for 60 hertz. Now, if you need to have 120 or some other feature that this doesn't have, then obviously you're going to want to go somewhere else. If you need super jet black darks, you know, I've been to Best Buy and I've seen some of those TVs that are just jet black with the contrast. This one, it's pretty decent. They're not like, if you look at this Astrobot here, I mean, it's black. It's not gray. To me, it looks like black right now. It's not a gray. So anyway, that's pretty much my review. I don't know what else to say. It has pretty much limited options for settings, and it has 4 HDMI inputs. And you can see that the edge light here, I don't know if you can see that, but the edges are a little bit brighter there. So you do see that. But other than that, it's pretty much a steal, so to speak. Anyway, that's my review for the TV. If you would like, you can always shop in my eBay store, GB Hatcher. It's all kinds of used items on eBay. I'll leave a link in the description. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video.